Coming in, yeah.
How are you feeling about Leeds?
Confident after the performance, and I think that Leeds offer a lot of stylistically. I think they're a good team for Chelsea to play at this point in the season. Although they have scored goals so far, and I'm not quite sure Jesse Marsh is
Ted Lasso.
that's unfair on him. I think
Is it? Do you think he's a good coach?
I think he walked into a bit of a mess and has not been able really. I mean, Chelsea absolutely wiped the floor of Leeds last time he played them. And I think that they're a team again that probably offer Tuchel what he'd want at this point in the season, where they're going to offer you space. Marsh has not completely U-turned from Bielsa, has he? Because he's not that type of coach, and their squad was so assembled to play a certain style of play. They want to be pressing, they want to be on the front foot, which obviously brings its challenges. But I think if Chelsea are at the intense level they were the other day, I think that it could be a good win, and I hope that that's what it is. If we're at the same focus, and hopefully you can get Kai on the score sheet, you can get Raheem on the score sheet. I'm not saying it's going to be a walk in the park because it's Ellen Road, and it's not like April or May when we played them, because obviously they were very scared about relegation. And didn't Dan James get sent off or something? I think, yeah.
Well, a really bad challenge, I remember.
That was one that, funny enough, Anthony Taylor got right, to be fair to him.
Oh shit, he was the referee in that game, wasn't he?
So just not to be so biased, I've given him some credit for that, but I mean, I shouldn't really give him too much credit because it's the most obvious decision ever.
Yeah, so was a couple of other decisions at the weekend. But,
yeah. But I feel confident about it. I mean they've made some interesting signings, but I personally feel they might still be in a relegation battle this season, because they were 2-0 up at Southampton and they let it go. So I would like to think Chelsea are in a good place to win that game, because you really want to build some momentum now, right? You want to, after the frustration of Spurs, you want to take the good things from that performance. Southampton, it's Leeds, Leicester, Southampton in the next 3 games. I think you get 9 points from that. I think Chelsea will all be looking from that. And listen, it's so easy to kind of put wins on the board when you're feeling good.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, when things are going wrong, you can't see where a win's coming. But I think that those 3 opponents actually give Chelsea a lot of things that we want. I think they offer space for some of our attackers to go into more so than others. Leeds are not going to go for a low block against Chelsea. Neither are Southampton. They're just naturally, that's just not the way they play. So I don't know about you. I feel confident. I think you've got to after the performance against Spurs, because it was of a high level, right? It's just that question of, because it's Spurs, do we raise our level and the players raise their level because it's a big game?
That's what I felt. It was, I think, obviously the second game of the season.
Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, and first game at home, maybe they were raising their level for that, but maybe they weren't. We'll never know. But it's like, if we play like we played against Spurs every game this season, which obviously isn't plausible, but you know what I mean, like
if you keep a level of focus like that, and that sort of precision that we were playing with, it's going to be hard for teams, I think, particularly now we have Cucurella and we have Chilwell and James. It's as wing backs, which were so key, obviously, to Tuchel's system. I think Jorginho looked really good on Sunday.
He did, apart from
that's the unfortunate thing, right? It's the shame of it, because I thought he was having one of his best performances for Chelsea in many months. It's just such a blow of Kante, isn't it? Because he was.
Was that so? I've heard different things. Was that an injury or was that from the tackle?
No. It looked like he got hit, but no, it's a hamstring injury. 3 to 4 weeks is what's being said at the moment. But I think that the flip side of that is that Conor Gallagher, I think, there's a great opportunity for Conor to get. And you think about Leeds, the type of players you want in a midfield against Leeds.
You want high energy.
You want high energy players, and I think Conor can be that guy.
I agree with you. I'll be really excited to see Conor Gallagher against Leeds. I think he looked really good when he came on as well. I think he's going to be a game changer for Tuchel this season. I really do, because just the way he flew into that challenge. I think it was against Højbjerg and won the ball back. He maybe could have shown a little bit more composure in the final third when he got there, but we know the threat he poses in the final. I mean, we haven't had a goal-scoring midfielder since Frank, right? And no. I think that. Jorginho scored 7 goals. Our top goal scorer.
All from the spot. And he's already on course to do it this season. So, I'm Conor is one of those players I am so excited to watch this season, and there's no discussion of him leaving. There should be, especially, and I think Cover and Kante being injured is going to make it that he'll be playing enough where we'll pass the deadline, he won't be going anywhere.
Yeah, I think the only move I'd ever consider if it came in was a like, a top European club where he could develop his game a bit more. I think maybe like let's just say it, for example, AC Milan come calling because they need to bolster their midfield. If he was in AC Milan, I'd be like, okay, it's a place where he can learn to have a bit more time on the ball.
But again, you come back to options. I mean, you can't. You look at the options currently available to Tuchel. Who's playing in that midfield if Kovacic and alongside Jorginho, if Kovacic and Kante are injured? This is the problem we had last season. So I think it's just a bit illogical to let him go, even if a great offer did come in. I still think after the season he had last year, you've got to make sure that Connor has a pathway into the first team for me, and we've got to keep him because I think he could be a special player.
I agree. I think I'll be really excited to see what happens with him. I don't want us to make the same mistake. I mean, I think Broja had I thought he looked far more influential up front than I felt Kai did.
I want to see Broja start soon. I do because I felt Kai. I'm someone who's quite critical of Havertz at the moment. I felt he had a better game. Like the difference between that and Everton was I could see what he was doing on the pitch. You know, he was putting himself about a bit. But yeah, with Broja, I think he may just offer that instinct in the final third like that. We've lacked all the good play we did on Sunday. There were still several times where there was no one inside the box. Yeah,
in that first half, you had the physical presence of Armando Broja. I think we could have seen something slightly different. And I am a big Armando Broja fan, only because he's from Slough. People are like, but he's Albanian. He was born in Slough. He is the best export from that place since David Brent. Yeah. So every single time he plays, I got bored on Sunday when I got home, right? I was quite drunk as well. Big shout out to Gary Hayes for that. I had a great evening. We got back and I looked at my phone Monday morning and I just made like a load of David Brent memes, which just had Armando Broja's face on. And I'm there like...
For me, it's the Diego vibes of Broja that I do see a bit of Diego in him. Not in terms of like confronting people, but just in terms of
just scoring in the first half of the season and doing nothing for the second half. No, I love Diego. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, no, I think that Broja could be involved and could do something this season. I'm curious to see what he does because I think he has a lot of traits that. And as well, he played in quite an intense pressing team last season with Hasenhüttl, right? It's not like I don't think we'd lose a lot. Because the fear is right at the moment, because I see a lot of people saying Chelsea need to buy a number 9. And it's like, that was our strategy last summer, and look what happened with Lukaku. And whatever you say about he who shall not be named, and his lack of suitability to press, why should we do that strategy again? We need the sort of football that we saw on Sunday, that fluid movement. You need a striker who, the balance is a striker who can score goals but also can work with what Tuchel wants. So it's why the Ronaldo links just make absolutely no sense.
Ronaldo doesn't press. Like, why would you? Everyone's talking about, we should get Ronaldo, like guaranteed goals. I'm like, okay, that's great. Guaranteed goals is good.
But we couldn't have played like we did on Sunday without. Like everyone thinks that you could just put Ronaldo in on Sunday and Chelsea score goals. And it's like, no, like we would not have been able to play the way we did and pin Spurs back into their own half with Ronaldo because he wouldn't have offered what Havertz does. You know, you wouldn't have. It's just the reality of the situation. So my hope is Chelsea don't panic and go for a Ronaldo.
I think that'd be stupid. I really do.
Luckily, it seems like Tuchel's rejected it, which is great. I
kind of like that about how he's got the power to do that now. I think that's really going to help us.
At least for the short term until we get a sporting director in, right? Like for all the chaos of this window, I still think we could end it with a lot of players, majority of signings that I think are pretty good.
There's been a method to the madness, which I quite like.
It's looked chaotic because it always was going to look chaotic because it was a uniquely busy time. Like Chelsea had to act fast. So I think Bowley has been spinning a lot of plates trying to get, you couldn't just focus on one player. We needed to sign a lot of players. We need to get players out. I'd like to think that the style of this window is not going to be replicated in coming years. Because it doesn't have to be, right? It's like we've done quite a lot of good business this window. I personally, from a work perspective, I just hope Chelsea have a pretty quiet day on deadline day.
I don't think we will, mate. I'm going to level with you straight off.
I do worry that the Fofana one is going to go right to the edge.
I don't think we'll get it. I think it's too little, too late. I don't think Wesley Fofana is going to happen for us. Unfortunately, I think you've sold me a lot more. I think that's something because I was worried about it, but I'm a bit more. I was like, why are we not going for like a Marquinhos? And you've gone, well, we probably already have. I hadn't thought about that, and I'm now going, Actually, that's a very
And
good
as well,
point,
when you
right.
buy a Koulibaly, who's very much a now signing, and it's not that Fofana, if the money you're going to pay for Fofana is, he is going to be now. Like, he ain't coming in just to be a rotational, obviously. But Koulibaly, let's just say, I think it'd be great if we get him for 3 years at a top level. He may last longer, but let's say we keep him for the length of his contract and he does Chelsea a very good job in 3 years. What happens after that? What's the succession plan beyond Koulibaly? What's the succession plan beyond Thiago Silva? Chelsea, it's what we're not really doing in midfield a bit at the moment, like, because we've got Kante and Jorginho out of contract. You need a succession plan beyond these players. And we lost two centre backs in Rudiger and Christensen. You had to replace them. So
yeah, I think the midfield, I think we're doing that quite quietly, which I quite like. We've gone off on a tangent though, mate.
yeah,
But you know, if we go back to Leeds, you're feeling very confident. You think I'm being a bit harsh on Jesse Marsh? Let's just quickly blow the hairdryer and get that out of the way so we can carry on the conversation. Give me 2 seconds so I can awkwardly look at Jake through the camera.
totally casual. There we go.
Yeah, there we
Casual. This is just daily life. This is just.
It's just pretty
There's
standard.
not even cameras in here.
No.
Louis just looked randomly to the side.
Yeah, pretty standard, mate. Jesse Marsh, and obviously think we'll line up. You know, we think we'll be really good with a high press. What's the team? You're naming the 11. You're Thomas Tuchel. What we're looking at?
I'd go obviously Mendy in goal, back three. I'm concerned he may just go with the same thing again, and he'll play Reece at right centre back. And as well, you could argue Ruben deserves to keep his place, but again, for now, until we get a new defender in, I think it will be, let's go Reece, Silva, Koulibaly, Ruben at right wing back.
Okay.
Again, if I'm so desperate to see Ruben play Reece play at wing back, then I'm playing Dave at right centre back. But I just think he may feel that it works so well that I'll do that again. So that's the back three: James, Silva, Koulibaly. Ruben at right wing back, Jorginho and Gallagher as the midfield two. I think it will likely be Cucurella.
I agree. I think the Chilwell needs a little bit more time.
And as well, you got to remember, I think soon we're getting a midweek game against Southampton. So I think and Cucurella's playing well enough I think he deserves to keep playing. It's tough on both players, I think, because there's going to be periods this season when you're going to have two very good players. That's why the left centre back idea has been brought up. So we'll see how that pans out. I think again it will just when I'm picking the team, I'd go for Broja instead of Havertz. I want to see Broja get significant game time. I want to see how he does, but I just always feel at the moment that he's just going to stick with Havertz. And Mount and Sterling, I think, obviously keep their place too. So it's not. I think he may go with the exception of Conor Gallagher coming in for N'Golo Kante. I think it will be unless Kovacic has recovered quickly enough. But I think Gallagher will start.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see what happens with that. I think I'm excited. I think we've got some weak points in that Leeds team to go for. But we'll have to see, really. But on that, mate, I think we actually timed that perfectly because you're pretty much done. Do you want any wax in there or anything?
Yes, please.
What are you thinking? Because actually, do you know what? I've realised, right, the one thing I haven't done with this whole series, right? Look at this quick, at these ends. I've not done my special reveal, which I think, Vinny, you're going to have a quick little look at. You ready for this, right? You know when you go out and there's those blokes in the corner?
Yeah.
No spray? You want to make sticky with lady? You look right. What do you want? We got aftershaves. We have everything, which is pretty exciting. I've got different ones, different scents, different things to try. Obviously, we'll try a bit of wax. The beauty of this show as well, right, is I can explain to people what they should and should invest in from a wax thing. And I'm not being paid for this, but I just love this brand. if you want to make an investment in yourself, get these lads, all right? I don't use them for my hair because I've got something different. I use something called Suavecito because I like to have, greasy Italian look. But I know you just like to have a bit of wax in there, a little play about.
Yeah.
So we'll put something in there now. But have a little whiff, mate. You know, it's got like a little, look at that, it's got a little sponge. A whiff. Do you like? Is it nice?
Nice.
Lay right, pay me. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely worth a brand deal, I would say.
I'd say so. I think I should have a brand deal lay right or uppercut. But yeah, I think, I'm really intrigued to see how this season goes for us. I think that there's going to be some ups and downs. I'm not completely sold on everything. I think that there's like still a lot to go.
Do you know what I'd like? Me and shout out to Adam Newson. I know you want to get on this.
Yeah, Adam, I want to give you a trim, bruv.
My colleague at Football London, great Chelsea journalist. I think both of us agreed over the summer we'd like just a pretty dull Chelsea season. And what I mean by that is just like one where we don't have any like seismic events that changes the course of the club's history.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You're not suddenly fearful that it ain't going to exist. Tuchel stays as head coach. That's why just a comfortable season. Maybe we go to another cup final and maybe this time we win on penalties. We're
turning into Spurs. It's not good. We've lost 3 on the bounce. I don't like that.
Yeah, that'd be my sort of hope just from a mental state. I'd like we see some entertaining football, we get some big wins, but we don't have some mid-season collapse. But of course the World Cup is such an unknown. Because I think quite a casual, normal season would sort of set the hope that Bowley's era can not only get us off to the right start, a calm start, but also can be maybe a little bit different to Abramovich in the sense that we are sort of building for the long term. We'll see. Obviously, Chelsea fans long enough to know that it's mental, and this club at times, you look through our entire history, even though people don't like to think there's history pre-Roman, even pre-Roman, managers didn't get very long. Chelsea have always been an up and down club that have gone through dramatic events because it feels like it's just in our DNA that things have to go wrong and things have to go dramatically right like this. So we'll see.
I think it's going to be interesting. The whole window we're going to be on our toes. I think once the window's closed, that's when we can assess and go, okay, where are we going to be going now? But look, I think take a game at a time, see what happens. And talking of seeing what happens. Excuse me, Jakey boy. Let's grab this quickly. Are you happy with your cut, sir?
Lovely, perfect, mate.
Yeah, very much. And now just look down that camera and say everyone should come get their hair cut with me quickly.
No, but everyone should come and get their hair cut here. I'm not being paid to say this. My family aren't in danger, I swear.
That's an unnecessary way to sell it. No, man, now people think I'm weird.
Yeah, I just casual in it.
Yeah, there is that. But I think, look, overall, mate, Chelsea versus Leeds. Excuse me, Jake. Jake's just in. Just
this is high product. This is the small production value you expect.
It is fantastic. But we'll have to see what happens. Chelsea versus Leeds. Do you wanna? Can I tempt you with a score prediction, or
I'll go?
Should we leave it and just enjoy the game? It's up to you.
I'll go 3-1 Chelsea.
3-1.
Yeah, I think Leeds. They're a bit of a chaos team. I think they'll have some energy, but I'd like to just see a few goals, because so far we've got Koulibaly and James and Jorginho are 3 goal scorers so far. We want to see some of those attackers. I want to see a Raheem goal. I want to see a Kai or Broja goal, and a win away at Ellen Road is always fun. And hopefully we can send Leeds down to the Championship. But the first step on their road back to the Championship is kind of my hope.
I like that. I like that. Well, guys, that has been Making the Cut. Daniel Charles, son of Chelsea, has indeed made the cut. If you would like to make the cut, make sure you drop me a DM on Instagram. If you want a haircut, let me know. We can sort something out from there. But on top of that as well, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on the socials. Dan, where can people find you?
People can find me...
Pick a camera, by the way. Just pick one.
I'll go left. Son of Chelsea on Twitter is kind of the hub for my work. Football London, Substack, and then on YouTube, Son of Chelsea as well. So there you go.
Well, guys, thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll see you later.